Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to include and or introduce over 8 new characters in this story by director J.J. Abrams that will be used in a way only to, of course, benefit and or progress some of the new characters like Kylo Ren and Rey from start to finish of this movie. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that we do know that a lot of these new characters are going to be used in a way in order to challenge the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren, and even some of the other sequel trilogy-based characters like Finn and Poe. However, the main focus here is, of course, the character of Kylo and Emperor Palpatine. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of one of the vital scenes during the third act of the film, where it's described that Kylo Ren is in a standoff with the new villain also known as the Dark Acolyte, where the Acolyte is warning Kylo Ren before the battle about what he is about to go up against. It's described that this is when the Acolyte begins to change and his mannerisms begin to shift to, of course, Emperor Palpatine, where the villain begins to laugh just like Emperor Palpatine, where Ian McDiarmid provided voiceover work for the sequence. It's said to be a sequence in which Kylo fights a young version of Palpatine. However, Darth Sidious has invaded the body of Vance, who is also known as the Dark Acolyte. It's described that this is when Palpatine and his host are now unified and are whole, where he is described to ignite his red cross-guard lightsaber and performs a quick attack toward Kylo Ren. It's said that one of the moves that Palpatine and his host performs in the iconic spin, with the Force Scream in order to distract Kylo Ren in fear. The fight between both Kylo and Palpatine is said to progress as Rey is knocked unconscious by a strike of Force lightning from before. The last describes Palpatine and his host, where the appearance of the Dark Acolyte begins to change slightly with a more aged design as Palpatine's spirit becomes more powerful. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this because this is very interesting. Now, we do know that the spirit of Sidious is going to be used as a tool, in a sense, in order to bring back a younger version of Emperor Palpatine. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's going to be a new villain that goes up against both Rey and Kylo Ren that eventually transforms into, of course, Emperor Palpatine, where the spirit of Sidious takes over. So this is going to be a very interesting angle to a Star Wars film. This is so Dark Empire, I don't even know how to express this, but it's almost like The Exorcist meets Star Wars, where you have the spirit of Sidious invading another person's body, where he's going up against Kylo Ren. Now, what I have to say about this is that I think that a lot of people are going to have mixed reactions on this once this film arrives in theaters, and I can see why Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying to keep Matt Smith and his role in the movie pretty much, covered up and pretty much, not putting it out there. In fact, they removed his name from all the international StarWars.com websites, and I think right then and there, that was a big telltale sign that they are trying to really, pretty much do a lot of control here as to, whether or not Matt Smith is in the movie and keeping it very mysterious. So the other piece that I do want to go over is how eventually the spirit of Sidious actually causes Vance, also known as the Dark Acolyte, to have a more aged design, where the actual dark side energy that's being created by the spirit of Sidious, as it becomes more powerful, it's literally draining the actual flesh of this character known as the Dark Acolyte. This is the same exact thing that happened in Dark Empire, in case you guys did not know. In Dark Empire, one of Palpatine's clones was aging way too fast and becoming frail. I believe that was in the second Dark Empire comic, if I'm not mistaken, where Palpatine was actually interested in one of the Jedi species, alright, that were actually able to basically, perform and engineer a perfect Palpatine clone. Now, with that being said, you can really see how a lot of Legends material is being used as a form of inspiration for this sequence, in which Palpatine goes up against Kylo Ren, especially bringing us back to the prequel trilogy era, where Palpatine performs the iconic spin and even uses the Force Scream technique in order to really kind of just distract Kylo Ren in fear. Now, what I like about this is that this seems like it's going to be something wild and crazy that J.J. Abrams is going to introduce into the story, where this villain is said to have split split personalities. So yes, we are getting a brand new villain, but at the same exact time, this new villain is eventually going to transform into Palpatine himself as the spirit begins to take over his body willingly. And I think that's going to be a very interesting take on a Star Wars film, because we've never seen something like this before on the big screen. A lot of people are very intrigued as to exactly how this is going to be executed and on whether or not this is really going to work in a Star Wars film based within the Skywalker saga. Honestly, guys, I think that we need something like this. We need something different that's going to bring in a whole different medium of the Star Wars franchise that we have never witnessed before in Star Wars film history. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.